Hi, welcome back everyone to my YouTube channel that I have not uploaded in Hi, welcome back Pixies. It is my YouTube channel, Lady the Laddie. What? I haven't recorded a YouTube video in over a month. Hi, welcome back to my channel. It is your queen, Lady the Laddie here, with a brand spanking new Warframe video. This time it's about Atlas with the footage that I recorded almost 2 months ago.
Nailed it. I know. Thank you. Moving on.
So, before we get any further, I need to get it out of the way now. It is Atlas, it is Rockboy, it is Fisticuffs, he's gonna carry, does your back hurt from all that carry? Do you feel the rumbles? Do you feel the quaking? Do you feel the... Look, we came out with a lot of puns, and it was like 2 months ago, so I don't have any of them anymore. But just put in your the comments, the rock puns, because I know that every time you see the punches and the fists and the 1-2 punches, you're just like, yeah, One Punch Man, yeah, whoop-de-doo, okay, we get it, moving on. Is it out of your systems? Good. I don't know why that entire section made me sound like a really gay mafioso, but... This is why we don't go on breaks. Okay, can we get to the build? I know that's what we're here for anyway. Move it to the scene. So, Atlas, he is a Warframe, he got no neck. And a lot of shoulder. So his first ability is punch. This is really what I'm gonna be focusing on because that's honestly the most incredible thing about him, and that's kind of his whole thing. He punches. He punches hard and he punches repeatedly and things die. Also, he has iframes. His second ability is... Is it the rock wall? I think it's like called bulwark or something. I don't know. I don't use it. I take it off the build. We don't care about that. Third ability, Petrify. What does that do? It turns you to stone. Oh, Medusa, don't look at me. Oh, I'm so... Okay, moving on again. Fourth ability is Rumbles. This is kind of cool sometimes. It makes like little dudes pop up. They look like but it's fine. And there's a cool augment that I sometimes maybe use, but I don't like to deal with it. So I just, most of the time, I'm lazy and I don't. So here's the build. Honestly, I don't think this is probably going to be anything super groundbreaking. That is not an intended pun, but laugh for me because I am so incredibly witty. I tried a lot of things. I tested a lot of things because while Atlas is actually pretty fun to play when you finally get him online and you enjoy yourself as you fly across the room, literally you can fly. You just kind of point in a direction and you go yeet into people's faces. It's a lot of fun, but it's also really boring. And that is because of just how his augments work in conjunction with his kit. Once you get these augments on, you realize that you don't actually have to use any ability outside of his first ability, because with these augments, he doesn't in fact need to press any other buttons. It's actually kind of ridiculous, but it's also really weird because these augments fully dumb down the character to the point where he is brain dead. All you have to do is point your camera in direction of enemy and press 1. That's it. A monkey could do it. And that right there is the problem. I don't think that Atlas is a bad frame. I think he's a very strong frame. I think he can do what he does and he does it well. But the fact that utilizing a few augments that take up 3 mod spots potentially if you use the rumbled one, which is the only time that I find using the 4 is really worth outside of just the meme of using your rock turds to fight for you. But when I pick up a game, I actually want to play it. And with this character, I have fun pressing one button for about an hour and a half. And then I wanted to switch to something that makes me engaged a little bit more. So then I put him away, and I think that's part of the reason why Atlas doesn't get played more, and you kind of forget about him despite the fact that he can do gobs of damage, because no one wants to just press one button for the entire gameplay experience. Because we're not actually monkeys, and we like to think sometimes, maybe a little. I could be biased, maybe I'm wrong, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think this is a big reason as to why he's not played as much. Anyway, here's the actual build. Because we are not in fact monkeys, and I don't think that we're actually monkeys, I'm going to be really fast about this, because I believe you can understand what I'm going to tell you. We use 2 augments here, Rebel Heap and Path of Statues. These are the most important parts of this build because, in fact, they pretty much do what I said and make 90% of his build. His kid useless. Oh my goodness.
So 8 and 20 is
I would love the opportunity
40%,
to talk to Catherine.
and 3 and 7 is, you're at 43% success rate, and he's at a 40% success rate. That's all I'm saying.
We stand a queen that can sing and do math.
And do math.
Okay, so Rebel Heap is a augment for his passive, actually, which is actually quite unique since there's very few of them, and most of the ones that do actually do the opposite and just turn off the passive because, for whatever reason, people want to play the frame without using the passive. It's fine. I get it. Sometimes you don't want to slide everywhere, but let me be that slip and slide. That's a story for another time. Rebel Heap, passive augment. When above 1400 Rebel, landslide costs no energy, deals 2 times damage, and travels 2 times faster. What this means is you punch harder, you punch farther, and you don't have to use any energy. Ding! There goes one of the big problems with Atlas, which would have been his energy consumption, since all he does is press one ability, and he does that for the entire time because that's how he deals damage. Especially if you're utilizing a stat stick, which will in fact buff your landslide. That's the name of the ability, it's not punch, but we should just call it punch because that's what he does, he punches. Moving on, the second part of this is Path of Statues, landslide augment that leaves a trail that for 12 seconds will petrify an enemy for 6 seconds. What that means is that there will be a little aura that when enemies step into it, they get petrified, which then negates the need for his third ability because now you have a constant stream of free petrification that you're just going to immediately turn around and punch in the face, thus refueling your Rebel Heap augment, and in fact creating this infinite loop of no energy. The biggest downside is the fact that his entire passive is 1500 and that's a 100, I know, hard math. That's a 100 variable that you have to deal with. But the fun thing to note is that every time you get a punch and you petrify and you pick up ground stuff, the rubble, I guess you could say, because it's the heap of, okay, is that you, in fact, pause that cooldown, so then you just don't ever really run out of anything at all. Hence why it's great for solo, great for Steel Path, and great for most anything, and why Primed Flow is debatable. I would leave Primed Flow in if you're concerned because you're in a full party and everyone is playing Mesa, or Saren, or something that clears the room instantly. But if you're not, then you could probably get away with switching out Primed Flow and replacing it with something else, such as more duration. If you wanted to be super stingy, put in more ability strength, or if you use a helminth ability that calls for it, one of the other stats like range or efficiency. It's really all up to you. As for the rest of the build, we use Steel Charge because he fists. We use Power Drift because in damage. We use Augur Strength because damage. We use Umbrella Intensify because damage. We use Transient Fortitude because damage. We use Primed Continuity because duration affects petrification. Path of Statues again, and Rolling Guard for those moments when, for whatever reason, you are unable to punch. Mostly in the event of fighting an Acolyte, since there are some moments where an Acolyte can strike you in between your next punch, or just negate your capacity, violence, to use an ability, thus leaving you vulnerable. Then there's the stat stick. I'll link a video by the engineer that explains more about that if you want to, and that's the build. I think I've talked enough. I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps you. And we'll see you again in the future. If you like the video, be sure to hang out with me on Twitch because I'm live pretty much every single day, Monday through Saturday currently. I'll let you know if that changes. And we play Warframe on currently Tuesdays and Thursdays, maybe Fridays, occasionally Saturdays. We play a lot of different games. New World is being added on Monday, Wednesday, and potentially Friday, and maybe Saturdays. I'll get back to you on that one. We also have a Glyph. It's really great. It's super sexy. It was made by Sillfix, another Warframe content creator. I love supporting the friends. I love supporting artists, and I'm going to stop talking now. See you in the next one.
Major Bumsville, oh, I'm so late!